Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will show you how you can fetch an API in the React in just 5 minutes. So let's get started into it. So guys, I have created an empty fresh React project. So we are going to use an free API for fetching the data. Okay, so I have gathered the information for that. So this is the API that we are going to fetch in this video. Okay, it provides the image of the different breed dogs and the JSON response. First of all, clean this file. So with that, let's give an heading that fetching the API. First of all, we have to create a state for storing or persisting the data into our application. So let's do that. After this, so we want to fetch the data whenever the component loads. So for that, we have to use the useEffect tool. So let's use that. We are going to give a callback function and dependency array for this. So the dependency array will be empty. So we want that it should fetch only once whenever the components loads. We are using the fetch method in of the JavaScript. Okay. First of all, we have to give the API for this. And after the promise resolves, then we want that response to be converted into the JSON format. So response.json. After that, the response is converted into the JSON. After the converting it into the JSON format, we are setting the state. So let's display this data on this page. So we have to stringify this because we cannot display the JSON format data. Okay, dot stringify the data because it is in the JSON. So you can see this API data is fetched. It has the message that shows this image and the status is success. So let's render this image and the tag that source will be the data dot message. So the source is data dot message. This is the TypeScript warning. If you are using JavaScript, don't worry. So you can see when I refresh this page and new image is fetched by this API. Okay. Okay. So this is how you can fetch the API into the React. So now let's try to implement it in the clear way using the await and async functions. This will make your code much clearer and easy to understand and easy to manageable. So let's do that. Now we are fetching this API using asynchronous and await. If we are awaiting any response, then we have to make an async function. You cannot make this use effect rollback function async, so we have to create a new function. So let's create that. Fetch API is going to an async callback function that will so it will return a response and we have to await that promise. So this is the API, and after the promise has been resolved, this response will have a response. So we have to convert it into the JSON. So let's do that. So that's also a asynchronous process. So we have to also await that. We have to await that. After this, we are setting the as we done previously. So set the data as the JSON response. Now let's call that function fetch API. So this is how you can use the asynchronous and await. So that will do the same job. So let's try to check this. So you can see this is working in the same way, but our code looks more clearer and easy to understand. So have you thought if your API gets failed, then how will you handle that? So first of all, the normal method that is using the try catch block that we are going to use in this. Also, what we can do, we can create an state for setting that error message, and the error message will be displayed on this. Let's try to implement that. So we are creating a state error and the set error. After this, let's wrap this into a try catch block. If it fails, then it will go here and we will set the error to the error simply. Okay. And if we are having an error, then we are going to display this error, then just simply return a div error while. Okay. So let's try to run this, and this is giving us success status. Okay. And let's try to break it. So I am changing this to something random, and let's try to check this. So what you can see, error while fetching this data. So that's how you can handle the errors. So you have successfully handled the errors and fetched the API. If you go to any website, so if the data is being fetched, so what you will see, there will be an loader. Okay. How will you do that? Means our API is being fetched until time I want to show a loader on the screen. So let's try to implement that. So for that, we have to create a state also like the error. So I am creating a state loading and the set loading, which is going to be a boolean and false in starting. So we have started this process. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to set the loading state to the true. That means our API is being fetched. And after that, we have to make it false. So how you can do that? Let's use the finally block. It will run, it will run no matter our response is success or false. So now let's show a loader over here. So I am replacing that and I am just saying if loading. So if it is loading, then just simply show a div and saying that loading. And if it is false, then just simply a return a div like this. Let's try to run check this. You can see loading for a short period of time. So, and that's it. You have just learned how you can fetch an API using the React with both method using the fetch and the async await method, how you can handle the loading and errors into your application. So try to swap it with your own API. So if you found this video helpful, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Like, if you are having any thoughts for this video, so comment section is open for you. I am waiting for your comments. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.